Hello and welcome. The Carnegie Library is the Grand Library of Mauritius. It was created in 1920 and attracts researchers from all over the world, as well as a large number of students from universities and colleges. In order to revive those memories of the history of the library and talk about its activities today, I welcome Belinda Ramnauth, the Senior Librarian at the Carnegie. Hello,
Hello.
Belinda. Can you tell us a little bit about your own studies and why you chose librarianship as your career?
Well, actually, at that time when I chose, there were very few persons who had done for library science. In fact, I studied geography as my first degree, and then my father told me to go for library science, which was quite rare at that time. So I opted for that. And as I came back, I got the job at the municipal council. So today I'm very happy that
But you've done 2 degrees in management. You could be managing a big firm, you could be managing a multinational. Why a library, and why such a small library as the Carnegie?
No, but you need someone to manage the library by any means. No, I'm happy. In fact, I could have chosen elsewhere, but as I say, you need someone to manage and develop librarianship. So I don't have any regret where I am, and I'm really happy. And Carnegie Library, where it stands today in Mauritius and elsewhere. So I can say it's a very good job, and in fact I encourage people also to go for that.
Do you have many libraries in Mauritius? Are there many people studying librarianship?
Yeah, libraries you have, obviously. In our context, we have to differentiate between different libraries. So school, we call them school libraries, university. All these are academic. Mm-hmm. But we public libraries, we are under the municipal council, local government. But we are big public libraries, and then you have special libraries. Special, like the MCA is a special library, at the Mauritius Oceanography, it's a special library. Mm-hmm. But compared to other countries, we have, but we can't say we have much, like many libraries. But now the government is going, developing village libraries or community or village libraries, yes, like you have elsewhere. But even at the local government, like all the public libraries are found in the towns in Mauritius, but we have branch libraries, but all annexed with the municipal libraries. And you told me how many librarians we have?
Yes.
See, we have an association we call Association of Librarians. So in that we should make around 65.
Yes.
And then we have the Mauritius Council of Professional Librarians, where actually right now there are some 55 professional librarians.
You are the president of the Association of Professional Librarians.
Just newly elected president.
And what does this association do for librarians?
Actually, that's it. So you have to register with the Association of Professional Librarians, but there are other associations which just are coming up. So it's a way like we know each other. And then we organize some seminars or workshops. Whenever you have someone coming in the field of libraries, then we invite them. So it's a way that we get to know each other. But it's through the Mauritius Council of Registered Librarians that, we have an ARC. We've been fighting with the PRB. We fight for our profession. Even through the council, we've seen with the university to conduct courses, etc. It's more professional.
Are there many courses offered in Mauritius for librarianship, or do people have to study overseas to become a librarian?
It's both. Like at the university, earlier they used to give certificate and diploma level and degree by distance. Okay? So, that's way. But many people go abroad But now since they've introduced the distance one, so I think many Mauritians are going for the distance course through the University of Mauritius.
You teach yourself at the University of Mauritius.
Yeah.
Do you have many students there?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I've since 1993 when it just started, I'm still teaching on a part-time. So I can say every year on average, some 20 or 25 students do go for diploma, and then they become library officers.
And do they find employment in libraries?
Very easily. I can tell you everybody is employed.
At the right level or at different levels?
Yeah, I should say right level. Right level. Only that when the degree, so now that they are going for degree, so some wait, but those where they have already the vacancy in their institution, so they are easily promoted.
So what would a librarian to begin with earn in a library? What would be the salary level?
I don't know exactly, but I can tell you it's not bad. After the PRB of 2003, I think the salary level is quite encouraging.
Let's talk a little bit about the Carnegie Library. It's got this wonderful history going back to 1920, and it bears a very famous name, Carnegie.
Carnegie, yeah.
Because he was a great philanthropist and so on. How did it start and how did it develop?
See, from what I've read and everybody knows, it's like there was Andrew Carnegie, not Dale, Dale, that's a long time back. So Andrew Carnegie came to Mauritius for a visit, and then at that time only, the inhabitants of Curepipe, they were fighting to have a library in their town. It was not yet so much a town. So then I had seen the letter. They had written a petition with over 100 signatures, where they asked the board of commissaire at that time, so they asked them to have a library, because I think only Port Louis had its own library at that time. So then Andrew Carnegie donated at that time £2,000. So that's where the first building made of rock. So that's how the first building then was opened in 1920. And after that, the American embassy donated some money, and then they constructed the second phase of the library. The one in cement, which
which is at the back.
Yeah.
Which is at the back. The Andrew Carnegie has donated much money over the world to build all kinds of establishments. But the Carnegie Library must be the only one in the Indian Ocean, because there's no other Carnegie Library.
I'm not so sure. Might be in South Africa.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, might be in South Africa. But as far as I've seen, they keep the same architecture. That same form, like with the column. I mean, from what I've seen in different countries, it's the same.
And it's very classical, and it's also very Scottish, because he was very Scottish under Carnegie.
So I didn't know about that.
What about the collections? You have wonderful collections. You have d'Épinay collections, you have Riviere collection of collections, very old books.
Very old books.
Where did these come from?
For the Riviere collection, it's the daughter of Edouard Rivière who donated the collection. And I'm not so sure about d'Épinay, but what I know, it's a donation only from the family, d'Épinay family.
That's Adrien d'Épinay.
Adrien d'Épinay.
And so you have all these old books. What do you do to preserve them? Because the atmosphere in Curepipe is very poor, isn't it?
It's humid and all. But apart from I'm just cutting you short, apart from the Rivière and d'Épinay collection, I've got from other people also.
Yes.
Like you have the doctors, Turner, Burnell, all these British. Even I have the famous letters of Matthew Flinders, etc.
Yes.
It's all form part, but my major collection are d'Épinay and Rivière.
And amongst those collections, you have some wonderful manuscripts. How do you look after these manuscripts, and what sort of manuscripts are they?
It's, like I told you, it's a bit of everything, but mostly on slavery and history of Mauritius, most of them. And they were written, some, when the British were in Mauritius, or the French. So I have some with their original handwriting, some in their original form, but some, the manuscripts are in photocopy. And the famous Code Noir.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
so you have a copy of the Code Noir going back to 1759.
1767.
67.
Yeah,
and that's the only copy in Mauritius?
Yeah, that's what I've learned. It's the only copy, if I'm not mistaken, in the all around Indian Ocean.
And what are you going to do about these manuscripts? How are you going to preserve them?
Oh, it survived 3 centuries. I hope they last for much. No, no, no. In fact, the council, we are coming with, it's, since some 2 or 3 years now, I've been able to convince the council, like, at least we should get them republished. Publish for the manuscripts, or even the rare old books, to republish them, because they are the only copies in the Indian Ocean. You have many people, so many people come from Europe, even from America or Asia, to do research on these collection. So since some 3 or 4 years, we've transcribed, with your help and help of others, some manuscripts. Now, concerning the Code Noir, hopefully the council has, we are going for that to retranscribe it.
And at the same time, by publishing those manuscripts and republishing the old books, you get people overseas to know about your collections.
Definitely, yeah, and they do purchase.
And do they come over in large numbers, researchers from Australia or
Yeah,
America?
Germany, especially I get from Germany, Swiss, French mostly, English. I've got people from India, European countries, even from States, they've come over, North Africa.
Yes.
Especially on slavery.
Yes.
So I should say, we do have some 10 per year, which is not bad.
10 researchers
year,
who
yeah.
come and work in the library. What about other readers? You have other readers such as university students.
Oh, yeah.
And how many subscriptions do you have for the library?
See, the reference section is free, so I cannot really tell you how many, but per day, easily some 500 students do visit my library, easily. But then at the back, it's a paid subscription. I don't know, that's what you mean. But there, the paid subscription is, common, fiction books and these non-fiction and all. So I'm active around 6,000, 6,500, I just checked. They are active. When I tell you active, it means, they come regularly, each 2 weeks, they change their books, they go, they pay on time. But in my record, I have 14,000 registered members.
14,000. Children, adults?
Both, children and adults.
And where do they come from? Curepipe itself?
No, not exactly. We are open to the whole island. All libraries are open. We are not really. But most of my people come from south.
The south? From Souillac, Riviere des Anguilles?
Grand Port and Savane. Yeah,
and they come up, borrow books and go back?
Yeah, usually it's for both ways, because Curepipe is the closest town from the south, and then you have many of them, they are attending schools in Curepipe, yes. So it suits them in that way.
It reminds me of studying there in 1960. You were not born then. And there were still plenty of students in the library working on those big tables.
Yeah.
Those tables have been there for a long time.
That's what I don't want to change, the tables. Their origin. When the library was open, you have these 3 big tables. They were originally there. So I've got complaints, like I should accommodate more tables, I should put more chairs, etc. But the fact is, I don't want to change this antique furniture. Even the counter,
yes.
Even those wardrobes you've seen, yes. Made of teak. It's quite old, but we just have them maintained properly. But they date a long time back.
So the front building with its passageway at the top.
Yeah, even the mezzanine floor, yeah.
That is still as it was in 1910.
Yeah. So at that time, the Librarian's office was up. Yeah, her office was up. Anyway, now we've closed and made it a store. So up, they had this collection of D'Épinay, Rouillard, and so many other books. And below, I think few tables and few wardrobes. Now with time, I had to, fit in and congest each of one of them. I have one original filing cabinet, even an original catalog cabinet.
Do many people know about this? Do you organize exhibitions of your stock, your collections?
Not really, but I do organize, let's say, on slavery, or there's something like we show our rare collection. But I've organized once in a while, but I cannot say really how many people know about.
But you have many visitors, like the American ambassador, the French ambassador, the other ambassadors, the British ambassador or High Commissioner, who come and look at your collections.
Yeah, I've got like different embassies. We work in close collaboration, But recently I had a visit of the American Embassy, and in fact, yeah, I forgot to tell you, they chose the Carnegie Library to set up the American Corner.
What is an American corner? They drink
Yeah,
American
even I didn't
coffee?
know. Even I didn't know earlier. So American Corner, you know, they call it as such because they have it in one in each country. I mean, anyway, if the country is big, one in each town. So they chose Curepipe, like I told you, because by the number of students who visit Carnegie per day. So American Corner, it means they are going to have a corner for them. They are going to provide all information about American universities, I mean facilities studying abroad, I mean in the States, etc. So they are going to manage everything. All I have to do is just give them space.
But they will provide a librarian for this, or
No,
an
they are
assistant?
going to train my employees. They are going
okay.
to train my employees, like how to give information, etc. So that also will be a plus.
It certainly is. Yes.
Yeah, it will go on their website. So the American Corner is in Curepipe, etc., etc. So I think.
You are also one of the first libraries to have a cyber cafe. How
Yeah.
did that come about? Who decided to create a cyber cafe?
Actually, you know, the craze also is quite recent. I mean, cyber cafe, let's say it started around 1990, 99, 2000, etc. So then, our parent ministry suggested to each libraries to have an internet section. Okay, so I mean, it just happened, like I happened to be the first one with the procedures, etc. But hardly after 2 weeks, VACWA also opened. When I'm telling you cyber cafe, it means a full-fledged cyber cafe. Like I have 15 computers.
Yes.
So like, you know, other libraries can tell you they have, but they provide only 2 or 3 for the public.
Yes.
So mine is 15
And you
PCs.
provide coffee as well?
No, we don't
No
provide
coffee, so
no.
why is it
was
called
there.
cafe?
But then, yeah, the name is there, but
Yeah.
at least I don't. I go by the Public Library Act. I don't provide food and drink.
There's no drink or food allowed in the
And
the
the fact
library.
I'm so close to the market, so it's really not
Yes.
not so needed.
Yes. Now, talking about the manuscripts again, there are some manuscripts, I believe, that disappeared in the 1970s and went walking overseas to Réunion or somewhere else. Has any effort been made to recover these precious manuscripts?
You know, when I went for my present job, that was the question which was asked to me, you know, in the interview. Do you know about those books which disappeared and went to La Réunion? Anyway, so when I joined in, I mean, that was the talk of the day. In fact, the Municipal Council had just discovered that its manuscript had disappeared. Those books were given in exchange in 1972. There was an exchange between Curepipe and La Réunion. So I don't know, the record must have not been so well maintained, etc. So 18 books were given. When I'm telling you books, it means rare books and manuscripts. So there was on Paul et Virginie, by Bernadette Seppier, etc. So, and then 15 books were written after some 3 or 4 years. That's okay. But then by 1988, 89, that the then president discovered that 3 of those books written were in form of photocopies. So that's how the scandal, you know, arose and things started going on the newspaper, etc. So then at the then council, the council 1990 to 1995, tried to get them, but I had just joined, so I was quite new to the job. I didn't know really what to do. But recently, some 2 years, the council is again, you know, dealing with the government to recuperate these books.
And you know which manuscripts are
I
still
know which
overseas?
manuscripts, and many people, you know, like knowing where I'm working at the Carnegie, they've told me, hey Belinda, your books are in La Réunion.
And
but
they've
I've
seen.
never been to, yeah, they've seen.
Well, it's worth going on a
With the
trip to
stamp.
make sure. Clearly, those manuscripts are very precious because
But I
one
believe we've
is
got to recuperate them because it's our property after all.
one is of La Bourdonnais, isn't it?
La Bourdonnais, yeah.
And it's
One on
a
Paul
unique
Virginie.
manuscript.
So they say.
Tell me a little bit about the role of the council, the municipal council in the library. Does it fund the library?
I mean, of course, like I'm part of the municipal council. I mean, I'm one of the departments. So my funding comes from the Ministry of Local Government, which allocates a global sum to the Municipal Council of Curepipe, and then you have to provide your draft budget. So in relation to that, depending, you know, I always try to inflate the numbers, so depending on what your needs, and then we allocated our budget. So each department manages its own budget.
Yes, so you're given a budget and you decide how to spend it, but you...
Apart from salaries.
Yes.
I don't, like, salaries is managed at the treasury level. So I have to, you know, like for purchase of books, newspapers, maintenance of building, exhibition. I mean, I have to see how much money I have before organizing such activity. And I mean, anything, it's just like managing your own house. So I manage my department. Suppose there is a shutters, I don't know, it's broken. So it's all in relation to money. I have to make furniture. It's in relation to the money I have.
Is there a lot of money spent on security to protect the books from going out, or?
Not really, because, you know, we are not yet computerized. Though it's a project by the government and the national government through, to the local government. So, I mean, I must say not really, not really.
Have you asked for some money to protect the books? And to...
I mean, we badly need, of course. I mean, once it's computerized, we'll have to put, you know, book scanner and cameras, etc. So at present, I just rely on the honesty of my employees.
And anyone watching who thinks that they are going to get those manuscripts,
no,
they are wrong.
No, they are with me.
They are with you under lock and key. And there are also 2 attendants at the door who watch people going in and out.
No, in that way it's okay. And then we don't lend it after 4.
Ah, why not? Is that the Library Act, or?
No, it's not in the Act. Yeah, it's a decision by the council. So I can keep a control also. In fact, even before photocopying, they come and ask me, like, you know, madam, there's someone who is asking to photocopy, especially the manuscripts and the rare. So I see to it why they are photocopying. Because, you know, I've met across some people. Today they want to photocopy 1 to 10. Tomorrow 11 to 13. You know that.
Yes,
so in that way we are quite, I'm not quite, but very vigilant.
Because the Copyright Act would protect any author.
No, like, see, Copyright Act, you have it for 50 years.
Yes.
Or as long as the author is still alive. So all my books, I'm telling you, they date more than 1 century or 2, but still they are my property. So I believe I still owe them, like, it's my right.
You told me a story once of books being found in the loft of the municipal
Not one.
municipality.
I must have found around 200.
The town hall, in the loft of the town hall.
That was in 1995 when the town hall was going for renovation. And then, you know, I was just called by some employees, like, they found books, you know, with stamp of Carnegie. So even I went then up and discovered must be more than 200 books.
An exciting story.
It's,
the history of the Carnegie
now,
must be
how
written.
they went, how it went up, no one knows.
How did it come down? Did you bring them down?
No, it came down for me, it came down, I brought them down, but how they went up, since when they were up, no one knew.
That's very interesting. Now, you have been responsible for organizing a lot of book launches. My own books were launched in the Carnegie, and you brought the deputy president, the vice president to the library. You brought the prime minister in November to the library, and you organize a lot of cultural activities around the library. What sort of activities do you organize?
As such, municipal council, you know, we have to look after the welfare of the citizen inhabitants. So different activities are divided by different departments. Welfare, it manages, you know, more cultural aspects, concerts, music, etc. But I look after more educational. So we organize, I should say we, because it's the department on the whole, debates for schools. Usually we concentrate only on schools of Curepipe. I've done some on national level also, book fairs, film shows for children, symposiums, launching of books. And World Book Day, last year we did World Book Day on a national level. We are going to have the same thing in May, on 9th of May.
Yes.
So, I mean, with schools also, we are always working in close collaboration with secondary, especially secondary schools, primary school is more looked by the welfare department.
So that you play a very important part in the cultural and community life of Curepipe and the island.
Yeah, and then in January also, I see to it, I get the syllabus from school so that to know, which English and French literature books, and then we buy critics according to the books which are being used in those. And I can tell you, we have a lot of students who come for critics.
Of course, I see them in the library.
Yeah.
What are the future projects that you're working on? What are the future activities of the library in 2009 and 10?
Okay, let's see. Hopefully I can. I mean, we are going for transcription of Code Nord, which I told you. I mean, that will take some 3 or 4 months. And then we are going to organize a debate on national unity for the secondary school students. That's for just, recent. But then the project are still, like I told you, computerization of the library is coming by 2010.
The American corner.
American corner by 2010. And then with the National Library, we'll get online.
Yes.
Just to help like all the 5 local authorities and their municipal libraries with the National Library.
In fact, your catalog is not online, is it?
No, nothing is online.
Which is incredible that people from overseas
orders,
know what's in your library. Is it by word of mouth that they find out?
No, we have a website. The municipal council has a website. In there, you have a section on the Carnegie Library. But I'm in the, World Directory of Libraries. I'm in those ancient libraries, etc. So it's there, and I suppose through email now.
And Belinda Ramnauth herself goes overseas and presents papers at conferences, attends seminars and workshops.
Not so often like you, but once in a while.
Do you talk about the Carnegie where you go? Do you say it's
if I go abroad, it's thanks to the position where I enjoy. It's the Carnegie Library. So it's through through the council that I get this opportunity.
So you're very proud of your library.
I am.
And thank you very much for talking to us so warmly about your library. It's something I share. And I must say that I encourage everybody to go and have a look at the collections in the Carnegie Library. It's unique in Mauritius. It's a real jewel in the crown of Mauritius. Thank you, Belinda.
You're welcome.